Yeah, what's good, beautiful people? I'm Tiger right here, and this is my wife.
I'm Blinky.
And today, guys, we are going to actually be revealing you some of the things that we face in China as refugees. Okay, we also do have YouTube channels, and my channel is Lifestyle. You can see it right there on the screen. You can go to my channel and see what I do. And my wife's.
And I'm Blinky's Bloom. I specifically talk about weight loss, body positivity, empowering women to live a healthy and productive life.
Okay. Yeah, and in my channel, guys, I'll deal with livestock, improving technologies in China, especially dealing with cars and so many other things. And you may want to just look around and go to our channel and find out what we do. And the reasons why we are actually doing this video is because actually, like I said, we are married and we are refugees, right? You may be
Yeah.
thinking like refugee means, oh, the life is your world has come to an
You
end, but
know,
that's
I,
not it.
I, I never believed that I was going to say this out loud, like being a refugee, but due to circumstances and situations, of course, we are here today. And due to the circumstances that has been happening, we all know what has been happening in the world as the current president of the United States and the government. There's so much that has been going on. Laws have changed, and it has brought us to a point today where we are here to talk about it and also to help empower other people facing the same situations out there. So I hope you guys stay tuned and listen to our beautiful story while you stay inspired and empowered.
Okay, and guys, meanwhile this session is going on, you can check this video in her channel or you can also do check it in my channel,
And I'm
okay?
going to be leaving the link of my channel in the description box so that in case you want to get to know more about me and what I do as a person, please click the link below and join that beautiful family.
Okay, and just to let you know, like she said, family, guys, we have two kids. Okay, we are refugees. We have two kids in China, and some of you might be scared. You have heard so many scary stories about living in China, how things are difficult. Like some people even say Chinese don't have food. Like how do you guys eat? Like when we came to China, our parents like, oh, how do you guys even eat like food? Like those people they don't eat. Guys, you'll be surprised when you come here, and that's
Yeah.
how so many other countries and people from other countries that have not yet been in China are underestimating some things in China and stuff like that. But guess what? Being a refugee right here has not been an easy
Easy
task,
start.
but still yet we are smiling and we are kicking. We have two kids and we're going to reveal to you everything about that
Yeah.
in this session.
And most of the times, many people don't know what the refugee in China looks like. Like many
Yeah,
people know about the United States, many people know about UK,
Canada.
Canada, but
Yeah.
most people always ask me, how is the refugee situation in China? Is it like the way it is? Do you guys live in camps and everything? So in this series of us telling you our life story and how we have evolved and what has brought us to this moment, even to having these YouTube channels as you see running on your screen, it's all about where we started and how we have come to be.
Yeah, exactly. And guys, so we're gonna be sharing you some of the negative things like being refugee, or like not just negative, like we can say some difficulties
Difficulties,
like being refugee
struggles.
struggles in
Yeah.
China. Actually, we are foreigners in China, we are black people. Of course, you're gonna have some level of degree of kind of racism and stuff like that and ignorance. Okay.
Yeah.
Now there's one thing I want to clarify in this video, and this is this. So many people say Chinese people are not racist, they are ignorant. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
Some Chinese people are ignorant
And
because they
some
are,
are
yeah, and
racist.
some are racist. Okay, you have to actually give it where it due. If you meet a good Chinese person, actually that person is a good Chinese person and
Mm.
maybe ignorant about some kind of things like where you're coming from,
Yeah.
yeah, and stuff like that, and why is your skin color
Color
different from
like that.
theirs. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is ignorant. But you have Chinese people who actually know where you're coming from and they hate you because you have that color,
Yeah.
and they hate you because of your color and everything that represents you. You know what I'm saying? So when you see this kind of issue where you have people that are ignorant and you have people that are racist, and of course you have people that are very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
this country has about 1.4 billion people. You cannot say 1 billion of them are racist and
Mm-hmm.
the other, or you are gonna have all these categories of people: the racist ones, the
The good
ignorant ones,
ones.
and the good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, and it happens in every other country like that. Now with all of these varieties, you can begin to understand that life as a foreigner in China as well, first, it's not going to be easy
Mm.
for those some people, or some of our friends that are foreigners as well, have
Mm-hmm.
even work documents, entrepreneurial documents,
Documents,
visa, stuff like that.
visas.
It's still life is still very difficult for them, you know.
Yeah.
But what, being a refugee in China, number one, again, first thing first is, you know, like compared to other countries like United States, Canada, and some other countries in Europe where you can have the permission to work
Mm.
as a refugee in China. Point number one, what is it?
You're not allowed to work. I mean, if they see you or feel, they don't need to see, they just need to feel like you're doing something,
That
like,
pays you.
yes,
You're working.
earning money.
Why are you
Why?
working?
I mean,
You know,
even to the extent of businesses, you cannot operate businesses like
yeah,
that. Yeah,
officially no.
officially no.
Yeah, and guys, and when you take a look at this, you also do have student. If someone can have student visa in the country and the person doesn't work, then imagine someone who comes as a refugee, which means like you are actually just begging to stay. And this is
Yeah,
what the refugee situation in China actually looks like. You're just begging to stay.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and they
And
don't give you no access to maybe
so
anything that is going to be of any use that's going to generate you income, though. So you
yes,
can imagine how difficult that is for us. Again, as a family,
as
we
a
have
family,
kids.
yeah.
For single people, it's very difficult. And then we have a family and we have two kids.
And I must say, it's due to the fact that also, I believe that when it comes to refugee situation in China, China is still like trying to embrace the situation, right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
haven't like actually lived or known about this situation. Is like something that they are slowly introducing into the system, and
yes, yes,
it's really tough because normally we are considered as a second country. Like China is not it's not a resettlement country, as we all know.
yeah.
So we are just here like a second country, and then when you've attained the refugee status, or like us who are already refugees and have been nominated for resettlement, you see you're waiting for you have to wait for your process, and then you get resettled to a resettlement country like US, Canada, or UK.
Now let's talk about that resettlement aspect. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So that resettlement aspect is when you come to China as a refugee, they first of all give you asylum seeker
Seeker
status.
status,
That
yeah.
is renewable, maybe 6 months. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
every 6 months. And again, guys, another problem is for you to actually the renew that certificate.
Certificate.
Is just a card. At first
Yeah.
it was paper. They
Mm-hmm.
just give you on a blank sheet of paper, and then later it become a little bit of a card. And of course, that card doesn't actually do anything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to come to that because you cannot even have a driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot have a driver's license. You cannot work with it.
Yeah.
Even your refugee card. So there are two types of card. You have the asylum, which is asylum seeker certificate, which is renewed twice
Mm-hmm.
a year.
A
That's
year.
every 6 months. And then
Yeah.
you have now the refugee status. Now the refugee status. How do you get this? You got to be in the asylum seeker for quite some
Some
time,
time
and then they're going to review your case over the years
over
to
the
see
years to
whether
see if
you
you
qualified,
qualify.
if your story makes sense, the reasons why you are claiming for protection from
Protection,
United
yeah, from the
Nations and
United
or
Nations.
UNCHR, like that, you know.
Yeah.
And most of the times it's very difficult. You can do this listing and you're going to go out of it, like you're just going to be cancelled. For example,
Yeah.
if you work or they catch you do anything that is maybe break a little bit of any kind of law, no matter how small it is in China, you're done. But of course, that's going to be your fault if you break the rules in the country. If you're a refugee, that's your fault. But let's talk about you getting how to renew this police registration. That's how we call it, right? We call it in China, it's probably called the police registration
Yeah,
document.
actually, you need a document
Yeah,
to be able to get your renewal done, right?
yeah.
And this document is not like an ABC, something that you just go there and you get this document. The document is one of the most difficult
Difficult documents to
documents
get
to get.
as a
Like,
foreigner in China when you don't have visa. Oh,
it's really
damn,
tough,
it's tough.
and each time you have to go back there to the police station, and some days you might just go and meet your
A wrong person.
ah
You may meet a wrong person or someone or an officer who came to work that day. Oh, they are just going to torment your life. Like
yeah,
being refugee, and I have been in the asylum seeker stands for uh about I was there for around 5 years. So
yeah,
to be renewing those documents all the time, it wasn't an easy job. You're
not
gonna
at
meet
all.
cases. We even had to transfer from cities to cities because some cities in China they don't even recognize the document. That's the first thing. Again,
Yeah.
they don't recognize the document. For example, you may go to a city where the house, maybe the housing you think is cheaper, and you want to stay there because you don't have no income. You just get a little bit of income from where there, maybe friends
Yeah.
and donors and some family members and stuff like that, and then you struggle to pay your house rent, and then you go to a city where you think the housing is cheaper. They don't even recognize the document, and they're
Yeah,
gonna
sometimes
refuse.
they are gonna just tell you like, oh, we don't accept this
Yeah,
document in this
in
city.
this
We
in this
don't
city,
accept you guys to
guys, to
stay in
stay
this
here in
city.
this city
So you are gonna have to look for somewhere else
else.
to
Yeah,
go. No
to
matter
go.
if you've paid the
You've paid
rent
the
or
rent. They'll even
whatsoever,
ask the
they'll
landlord
ask
to
the
refund
landlord
your
to
money.
refund your money.
Yeah, they're
So
gonna tell the landlord to
those
refund
are
your
some
money.
of the
And
struggles
this
that
is not, guys, this is not like a heresy. Okay, this
hmm
is not a heresy. This is actually things that have happened to us.
yeah.
Okay, live. And it's happening to so many other people who are having this particular kind of
Particular,
documents.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I think Asia for one, I don't know about Japan, Korea or something like that. We are talking about China, and about Japan, Korea, we don't know the situation out there, but as we are today, we want to tell you this struggle so that you can actually start trying to fit in. I mean, trying to find something to do that can keep you going,
yeah.
because really the life is tough. Like us here, we can't work. So what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to find a way to survive. It started from me as a stay-at-home mom who don't have a job. I have two kids to take care of. I mean, this dealt on my mental health a lot.
Yeah. And talking about that, guys, the difficulties that we actually face, like that is going to make you to feel like now the life is ending. Because another thing that we were hoping is, after being a refugee or getting that refugee certificate,
Certificate, yeah.
like I explained earlier, you had to go from moving from the asylum seeker to the refugee status, and from
Mhm.
the refugee status now, then you can begin to think of resettlement. So
Yeah.
the resettlement countries are obviously always, maybe sometimes Canada, and then the
Yeah.
majority of it is the United States.
Majority, I
Yeah,
mean, the
United
United
States
States
take
take
more than half of
of
refugees.
refugees.
So that's why some of you who go to the United States directly for refugee status, you don't face what we face. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they just take you and then they put you, at some time you can get you even have your work, you can have a work permit and stuff like that. You can start working, and
Working.
they even give you some assistance. Meanwhile, you are even still a
A
seeker.
seeker. Yeah,
Yeah,
like a
yeah, you can
seeker.
be doing some things. You know what I'm
The
saying?
seeker in the United States
States
and
can even,
here,
is
there
they
are
are
two
two different
different types.
people.
Yeah.
Okay, the seeker, they can even have a driver's license, and
Yeah.
start doing
Even
some
have
kind
a
of
work
job. They can have a
permit
work
and
permit
all
and
that.
stuff like that.
I
Yeah,
know the only thing
and
you
they're
can't
not gonna,
do.
and if you have your money, they're not gonna refuse you to not rent an apartment.
No.
Yeah. But even in China, if you go to some places, like I currently in China, this video is done in 2025, guys. Currently in China, if you have the documents, you go to some cities in China, they will actually refuse you. You know what I'm saying? So these are some of those difficulties we are really talking about right here.
Yeah. And we thought about doing this video series because, like I said, we are on resettlement list, which has been actually suspended, or
Yeah,
let's say,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it has actually been suspended because of the new law or government law in the United States. So we believe many people are out there, many refugees are also out there facing same situation and wondering how their future is going to look like. Like, how are they going to survive? What will be the next step? This is a situation that we don't know. We don't even know when it's
Yeah,
going to be
it's
uplifted, or
uplifted and
if
stuff like
things
that.
are going to change. Like, everything has been stopped, no resettlement any longer. So at this point in time, people who have been on the resettlement list and have been hoping and praying that their families are going to have some kind of a refuge somewhere in another country.
Yeah.
Now all these dreams have been shattered and we are back to square one. And we are out here as family to start encouraging those refugees who are out there. If you come across this video, please share this video, because
It might help someone. It might just
yeah,
help someone, give someone
give,
hope. You know what I'm saying?
give
Yeah.
someone hope, inspire someone. And we'll be talking about everything, about how to stay healthy while doing this, or about how to
Keep
stay
your mental
productive.
health,
Yes, keep
how
your,
to be
yeah,
productive at some point. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
about how to be productive, stay, no, about how to be productive and keep your mental health and help yourself during this situation to and
You
help
can
your,
also improve
yeah,
yourself. You can
improve
also
yourself,
help to improve yourself, your personality, your everything, your educational background,
your
your lifestyle
lifestyle.
and everything. Being a refugee doesn't mean the end of the world, okay? But
Yeah.
again, let's talk about some of those difficulties that we've been facing. actually growing those kids up, like growing these kids up in China is not easy, because if you can imagine that you cannot even work, you cannot have a driver's license,
Yeah.
then how do you even manage to grow these kids and let them go to school?
And
Having
their
a school,
future is very
very,
oblique
they have a
because
very deemed future
future.
being refugees in China, because
Mm,
they cannot go to school because
yeah.
you don't have money to pay some of the good kindergartens. And in some cities where you're gonna have yourself to the government, or the government in that city allows your kid to go to school.
Mm,
But again, not all the cities in China actually do this.
yeah.
Like where we are currently, we don't have
That luxury.
that luxury. We call it a luxury.
It's luxury.
You don't have that luxury. So if your kid have to go to school, you have to pay for it. You know
And
what I'm saying?
guys, what is where we are? The kindergarten is so expensive.
Yeah, like for international
Oh my
kindergartens,
God.
not even where we are. Actually,
Actually, everywhere
everywhere in
in
China,
China.
a kindergarten, like an international kindergarten, is expensive because it's private, but the
Yeah.
governments are a little bit cheaper. But again, where we are in this city, the government kindergarten doesn't have no partnership with UNCHR for your
For
kids to
your
go there
kids
for
to go.
free.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, the UNCHR is just spotted. The luxuries that you can enjoy are just spotted. So
Yeah.
you're going to start from getting the police registration to even get the asylum seeker, from the asylum seeker to even get the refugee status, and to be assigned to be how do you call it, transferred to another country.
Yeah.
And then maybe even if you are not transferred, living your life again in China is still a task, because you have to eat, you have to feed, you
Feed.
have to do some things, and you don't
Yeah.
earn no money. These are serious things. Imagine living like this.
Living
But
like this.
again, we are saying this is not all.
Yeah.
We can still find a way. Like we are family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have two kids, and we are still finding a way, and still facing those kind of little bit of ignorant people in China, some of the racist people in China.
Mm.
Like for example, let's talk about this part of racism, guys. And guys, we
We'll
had
be putting a disclaimer here because it's not every Chinese.
yeah.
Mhm.
And we have this, like I said earlier in the video, we have this kind of people everywhere in every country. You
Yeah,
have
in every
in
country.
him,
I
yeah,
don't
you
think.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, you have people that, like, we have some Chinese friends that have actually helped us. I will not even want to be calling their names here, but we have some ones. They have been very, 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 very helpful to us, and have really impacted our stay in China. And we are like family. You
And
know what I'm saying?
especially the UNCHR office. The UNCHR office has
It's
been
really trying.
so
Yeah, of
good to
recent
us.
they are really trying.
They have the country where they are, where the government is still like
Stepping
stepping
their
their
legs
legs.
into
Like,
water
yeah,
to know what
there's still
refugee
a
is. Yeah,
resistance.
there's still some resistance.
Yeah. When you complain to the UNCHR about things that you're facing, and they keep telling you they're trying, because they are actually going to the government talking about these things we are facing, but seriously, it's not easy. It takes time for that to happen. So we really understand
Talking
where
about that UNCHR, I really think these guys are trying, because
yeah.
if you are in China, if you go to the UN building in Beijing, and then you see the part where the UNCHR office that is in charge of refugee is managing,
Mhm.
it's just like a little apartment, right? Like I
Yeah.
went there, it's just like a little apartment, like a little box like that. You see, they are trying to gain grounds. They, even though they don't have a good loan office to
Office.
handle refugee things. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And whatever you need, you must go to Beijing. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't have it like you're gonna have it in your city to take care of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we think they are really doing some great jobs, because
No,
now
they're really amazing.
in some
Like,
cities the immigration now are beginning to understand that document, so you go directly to the immigration to do some of your
and
stuff.
they
Yeah.
always tell you, if you face difficulties or any situation, you're free to call the UN office for assistance. There are things that they will just tell you that is the
Their hands are
Chinese
very
law.
tight. Yeah,
Yeah, the Chinese law
their
now
hands are
cannot
very
do
tight on a lot
anything
of
about
things
it.
as well. Okay,
That's
and there are things that they cannot do. Like I said, doing like driver's license, they don't have that jurisdiction. So no matter how you call
call.
on
Yeah.
some sorts, they are not going to help you.
Yeah.
Those things that are not have not been accepted by the Chinese government, if you ask UNCHR, UNCHR will not help you.
Yeah.
Guys, you have to understand that this is a world body that is operating under a country.
Under a country. Yeah.
So they also have their own limitations.
Yeah.
And talking about this, some of these limitations again, there were a time where we had to do police registration, and it took us months.
Yeah.
Like they have to call this office, from this office to this office. Your local police have to call the district police. The district police head office has to call the city main office. The city main office has to call the national immigration. And guys, it can take months. And your documents, like if you are even in the asylum seeker status, it can even expire.
Yeah.
And if it expire, to renew it again.
And the truth is, many people have fallen victim of this situation.
Yeah.
Like, people have actually had their documents expired just because of the lengthy
process
of getting that police
the police registration.
registration. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And without it, without
it,
your
your
document
documents
cannot be renewed.
renewed. It cannot
Yeah.
be renewed.
So it's a very
It's a
important,
trap.
yeah,
It's a trap.
it's
And
like a very important document you need to be able to stay as a refugee or an asylum seeker.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.